Well, hello and good afternoon. I'm Karen from Stitches and Jacks. Welcome to my podcast. It's been a little while, but I'm back and I'm feeling a bit better. So I'm very sorry. I do apologise for leaving you when I was doing my little vlog in January. I was doing quite well. I didn't feel too good. My hands were really cold and I just thought, oh, I'm a bit cold. You know, when the other day you can't warm up, that's what it was like. And unbeknown to me, I came down with tonsillitis. But not just any old tonsillitis, evidently severe tonsillitis. And I wasn't going to go to the doctors, but I thought I'd had that chest infection leading up till Christmas, and I promised myself that if I got poorly, that I would just go to the doctors. It's so difficult to get in to our doctors, and I'm not going into that saga. But I went. Lucky enough, I did, because I wasn't sure whether it was tonsillitis or not. My tonsils were inflamed when I booked the appointment, but it didn't feel quite the same. And the reason it didn't feel quite the same was because I was evidently one step away from going into hospital. I had severe tonsillitis, and I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean? And I can't remember what the medical term is, but it's where you it comes down from your tonsils and you get like an abscess, and they have to take you in and drain it, and it's quite serious because it can just like expand and block your airways. I was like, oh, okay. I said to him, I feel really grotty. I feel that I've got an infection. This side of my face, oh my word, it was out so much. This was out as well, but all my chins and everything. So the doctor was laughing at me. They said, this is serious. If you're breathing, starts to change, you need to go to hospital straight away. He said, and it's just rest. You're not to do anything. He said, the problem we've got, he said, with you. I was like, yes. I think that my body is immune at the moment to antibiotics. And I thought you'd have to have quite a lot. I had a chest infection that turned into bronchitis March through to April. And then I don't think I really recovered from that. And then I got this thing that seemed to go on from the end of September, was it October, when I was doing the October vlogs through to December. And I had 2 lots of antibiotics. To be fair, I don't think the first lot I had were strong enough because it was over the phone, and you just need somebody to listen to your chest, don't you? And then the ones that this doctor that I'd seen, he gave me, that cleared it up. But there is something lurking. So he gave me 10 days of penicillin, so I was rattling with all these tablets. And then I've had to have another lot. Yeah, I had those. And then he's gone for blood tests. That's come back negative, which is a good thing. But the only thing he didn't tick, which I think he must have just missed, human error, was my immune system. So I've been back to the doctors, and an old doctor that I've seen who I know really well, she thinks my immune system is a bit compromised at the moment. So there we are. And I've got this thing, it's really complicated to say, and it's where all your it affects your immune system, and then all these like lumps come up over your body. I'm not going to show you any lumps, but I have got one here that came up on Friday, and it seems to be in one area of my leg. I'm not showing you. It doesn't look very attractive. But yes, I'm on steroids now for the next 12 days, and I go back, would you believe, in week next Monday as soon as they can get me in to do my blood test. So there we are. That's where we are. But I do actually feel a bit more like my old self. You know, when you just feel a bit ropey and just, fed up. But there we are. So right, that's out of the way. And if you're here for the first time, I'm so sorry. I don't normally suffer with anything. I just get on with it. But I've reached a stage where I'm a bit fed up. And I know that I'm very lucky that I haven't got lifelong pain or a lifelong illness. But yeah, there we are. So I'd planned to come back, and I was going to have all these beautiful notebooks, and I was going to be organised and start the new year. I kind of have, a bit greedy. I have 2 New Years. I have one in kind of January, and I start to reflect through that period between Christmas and New Year. I love that time. I can just go, right, I've entertained you all, go away. Shut the doors, and I can just have a few days like to myself. That didn't quite happen this year. We've unfortunately had a bereavement in the family. My stepfather passed away, so that's been a whole roller coaster as well with all what was going to go on. When I went for my throat thing, I thought that I was perhaps under a bit of stress and I maybe been talking too much, but that wasn't the case. So we've had the funeral, and I'll talk about that a bit at the end. So I live in the northwest of England. I'm married to my darling husband. We have 4 Jack Russells, hence the name Stitches and Jacks. And Stitches is because of all the crafts I like to take part in. I'm predominantly a knitter. I've really taken off, I think, on my crochet. Yeah, I can say that. I've taken off on my crochet for the last, 18 months, 2 years. I feel like I've gone boom, like that. And I'm happy with that. I like quilting, and I like hand sewing as well. But to be fair, I don't do a lot of it, and it's something that I started a project last summer. And I'm also tied to the academic year still, and I quite like that. I quite like, August again with the summer holidays where you don't perhaps have to stick to a routine so much. Like if you have the school run or you're tied working in that kind of environment. We are empty nesters here, and we have 3 wonderful children who have 3 wonderful partners separately, not all like together. And all of our children have children, and this Christmas was the first Christmas in about 7 years that all our 3 children were together at the dinner table, and they had their partners, everybody gets on. It's wonderful. We are so blessed. And they had all their children. Oh my word, we were just like, look what we've created, this wonderful family. So we are very much into family. We'll do things together, and we just love it. We're home birds, Mr Jacks and I. We love, we have our grandchildren on a Thursday, and we have six grandchildren, 5 boys, and finally a girl. But we'd have been happy with 6 boys, whatever would have come along. And last week was the first week I was allowed to have them. I wasn't allowed to have them before, in the sense of just to take the pressure off of me, because it's a lot. I'm 58 now. Oh my word! I said to Mum, I feel a bit old. She's just celebrated. Well, she didn't celebrate, but she marked her 76. So we always have a bit of a giggle, because I don't feel that she's much older than me. She's very young when she had me, but I feel that I'm kind of catching up. I think it's that big 60 that's looming. I'm not bothered about my age. I'm quite happy to say how old I am, but that's my husband's next birthday, and I think, oh my word, I've got a pensioner for a husband. It's not quite, but it's like, with what we've been having to deal with recently, it's all like looking at pensions and things, and we've just sort of spent our life, as many people do, you just pay into it, don't you? Pay into it, don't think about it, and now all of a sudden it's like, we need to get everything written down. So I was wandering off on a tangent then. So just a bit of an overview of who I am. So I like to knit all kinds of things. I wouldn't say knit many garments, and the reason I don't knit many garments because I have a bit of a apex here. I have a bit of a tummy, and I have a bit of a bottom as well. Before, was it Kim Kardashian had hers? One of my jobs years and years ago was to take the post upstairs when I was on reception, and one of the managers did actually say, and it's very un-PCC, he said they did wait for that moment that I went upstairs in my little pencil skirt to take the post. Very naughty, but shouldn't have told you that either, should I? So thinking about my word for the year, and I like to have a word. I started about 3 years ago, I think, 2021. I think I had belief. I was very low in myself. I think I'd yeah, I think I'd started menopause. My husband had given up work, taken early retirement. Then we had lockdown and didn't see my family. And yeah, so that's why I started the podcast, because I didn't have anybody to talk to. And I wanted, one of my favourite things to talk about is my craft. So I thought, right, I need to believe in myself. I need to believe that I'm capable of making something and it being of a good standard. And that really helped me through 2021. And then from there, I progressed to, I think it was challenge myself. And I think this is where I started to challenge myself with my crochet, because I was looking at my crafts as a whole. And one of the things I really enjoy is baby knitting. I started a little bit with Alfie. He's going to be 12 this year, but I was still at uni. I was a late bloomer. So I mean, I made him a few things, but then our Fred come along, and Fred's going to be 7, and he was our woolly baby. Oh my word! Myself and my eldest daughter, we knitted and knitted. He used to wear all the baby clothes with the lovely cardigans, and he'd have his hats and whatever. So I was sitting knitting the same thing. I was knitting a lot, but the same thing. And then Benjamin's come along. I once have knitted as much for him. Fred was the one we all knitted for. Benjamin, it's been a bit different, so things have changed. And then I've knitted a few things for Reuben. Crocheted him a blanket. I've made him a blanket. I've made him some cardigans and things. And his Harry Potter jumper that I was asked to knit, which was lovely. And then Bonnie's come along, so I've made some things for Bonnie, and then Toby's come along as well. So yeah, it's on the knitting front. There's a lot of things, and I felt a bit uncomfortable about showing it, because a lot of stuff I use is acrylic, because the mums, whoever I am making something for, I'm very mindful of how they take care of it. They're not knitters, apart from my daughter, but to do a hand knitting pure wool or something, that takes a lot of extra care. When you've got a baby, you just want something bung in the washing machine. I did make Freddie a Christmas pudding jumper, and I'd managed to take him to my quilt class, the AGM, and he'd had this really cute hat with these pom-poms on, and he'd worn it over December. And my daughter phoned me one day. She was nearly in tears. She goes, Mum. She goes, that really lovely jumper she said you've made for Freddie? So I said, yes, love. She goes, I've ruined it. I said, what do you mean? She goes, I don't know how, Mum. She said, but it just got in the washing machine. I think everything was just picked up. Didn't realise it there, and it shrunk. But don't worry, lovely. I said, he wore it. I've got a picture. Just one of those things. And I wasn't that upset, but you wouldn't want that to be, I wouldn't want that pressure to be a regular thing for them. So I was thinking about my word. Yeah, so I did my challenge, and then last year it was about embracing myself, my family, my craft, my life in general. And then I picked a few things up which I'd stopped because of COVID. So I went back to church, which was really nice. I was worried about going out and bringing something back from my husband. He's got some underlying health issues. I don't want to make too much of it. They're not dead serious, but he could be really poorly. So they were choices that we'd made. We also went back to Girls Brigade. I'm a Girls Brigade, the captain. Buck stops with me. So we've been back, and we've grown the group, and it's been wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And I've gone back to my quilting group. So that was huge for me last year. So life has got busier. So now I'm thinking, and I think with what has gone on with that, these things that I've been getting, it's because I've been perhaps mixing a bit more, and my immune system has sort of been low, as a lot of people has. It's just one of those things. So I had decided on my word, and it's to nourish. I need to nourish myself. I've got some notes, and I just want to make sure that I read this out properly. So the definition, the word nourish is a verb, and it's to provide people or living things with food in order to make them grow and keep them healthy. I thought, yep, tick, that's me. That's what I need. So I'm looking at this as my food to nourish me. Obviously, it's my diet. Yes, like everybody, January sort of a bit of a wake-up call after we've had all that lovely indulgence, and that's fine. And I'm fairly comfortable in myself as to my size, what I look like and everything. And yes, I know that I've got to eat a bit more healthily and I've got to exercise a bit more, and that's had a huge impact. So I'm 58, I don't know how long menopause goes on for, but I think I'm coming out of it. I think I've got like a pot of herbal menopause thingies, and I've made the decision that as soon as I finish, I'm not taking them anymore, and we'll just see how we go. I have a little bit of brain fog. Yesterday was terrible. I was calling things. We've had a new, I was going to say it again, we've had a new tumble dryer delivered. We had the one when we moved in the house, but it's been here 11 years and it's packed up. Had our money's worth out of that. Bought a new one, but I keep calling it the dishwasher. And I keep saying to my husband. So, going back to this nourish, I want to nourish all elements of my life. So, I've broken it down a bit further. I don't know if this will help anybody, if anybody's done anything similar. So N is, and I have been feeling this, that I need to set a new path for myself. I need to like have a balance between being busy, going outside, and having some downtime. O is for our family. I want to make sure that we have time for our family to make memories, and that it's not always like the big occasions. We did have food shop the other week, so I did a food freezer, like stock take. That was the word I was looking for. And we've got we've got a leg of lamb, and we've got a piece of turkey. We seem to always get an emergency turkey. I wasn't sure what we were doing New Year, so we've got those two joints. Both of those are way too much for Mr Jacks and I. So why don't we just invite the kids over and we'll do a big roast dinner. We'll cook both those joints up. Anything's left over, like they can take, we can divide between all of us. We'll have a nice roast dinner. I'll make a couple of desserts, and we can play some games and whatever, just for the sake of, we just need to eat those. So that's what we're going to do. Then U is for YouTube. I need to plan a format that suits me. And I think I did a lot of vlogging last year. I get very nervous sitting down and just doing it on a one-to-one. So I think I want to do a mixture of shorter little podcasts and to do some vlogs as well. So that's what I'm going to do, and I want to plan it. So 4 sort of ties in with number 1, to set a new path, and it's a rhythm. I need to plan my diary. I always work to a diary, but with my mum losing a husband, she needs more help and support in the sense of she's quite capable of doing things. She doesn't drive, and she's been inside for the last 4 years, so life's very different. So it's things like, she's about half an hour away, so that's like a big block of time, which I'm more than happy to do. But I need to work that round. Also, we've spoken as a family. My 2 daughters want to be involved and have a relationship with their grandma, like they have, but even physically going and seeing her. And my daughter, the one that's got 3 children, the youngest one, she wants to plan when she goes to see her. So so we've divided like the month up between us, so that she has got like 2 visits a week from one of the granddaughters and myself. My husband said he would go as well, and he'll take her down the pub. That's a thing that we seem to have been doing. We've been to the pub, I think, 3 times. And the day before my funeral, my Uncle David came up from Suffolk, my mum's brother, and we went for a meal in the evening before the funeral. And it was just really nice that we were able to be together. And then I've got I. That's it. I need to limit the amount of pressure that's on myself and that's on my mind. So it's really hard for me to ask sometimes, or to listen to my daughters telling me, come on Mum, let's just share this out a bit. And my daughter-in-law, she's been really good as well. She'll do anything for me, and I'm very, very blessed in that sense. And that's what it's all about, because if it was them, I'd be saying to them, how can I help you? So, and then sleep is a big thing. So the menopause has been, I've been really bad. It's been like that, my sleep. But I have, because I've had this chest thing, I've had to be elevated a bit. So I've got one of those horseshoe cushions, which I've been sleeping with. It took me a little while, and I sort of have it scrunched down. But that seems to keep me in place, so I'm not tossing and turning so much. And I'm also trying to write things down so that, well, I was going to say my brain would be empty, but you know that whirring when you go to bed? I don't know if you do this, but I can go to bed and I can like have a count of what I've got to do. I have a cup of tea in the mornings and I go through what I've got to do. So I need to try and stop doing that in the evening, because if I've done my list and I have like a kind of a to-do list, but then I work it out over the week. I don't do errands as such because it takes me half an hour to get into town and then half an hour to come back. So I'm thinking, one, it's the time that it's going to take me. Two, it'll be like the petrol and the cost of that, and just the energy. So I try and sort of put everything in blocks. And H is for home, just to enjoy like being at home. We are home birds, and we were talking about it this morning, about things that we want to do, things that jobs need doing. So we're going to write a list. In my head, we're going to write a list, and then I'm going to divide everything into like outside jobs, inside jobs, and then put them into some kind of season. We've got a job in the kitchen that needs doing, like the ceiling needs sorting, which would be nice if we could get that done with Mr Jacks, can get that done before the spring. I'll be really happy. Oh my word, it's 20 minutes and I'm still talking. Right. One of my new habits is water. So this is my second one, and it's, what's the time now? Oh, because I'm doing really good. It's 2:20. Okay. So I'll start. Yeah, I've got some, I need to put my notes together in like a nice little chart, but I haven't done that yet. And I thought, right, well, that can come as it is. And I think if I do these little vlogs, I could show you this chart and I could just look at one part and I could like cross that off or colour it in to say that it's in progress. So I need to record better notes, and that's for my projects. I've lost my project book that I used to just write everything down, all the details. So that's something I'm going to do. I need to organise my stash. Now, one person that I've been watching is Anita from Gaga Knits, and she said that she wants to do like a declutter, de-stash thing, and she's been looking at her craft. That's where she started. I was like, oh, I thought you would have started in another room, but it's been really interesting. She's gone through all her yarn, she went through her material, she went through her like books and patterns, she's gone through her notions, and I just really took so much from that. So I've started to go through things slowly. I've had a big clear out. It's a spare bedroom really in here. I've had a load of things piled up, and I've still got things in bags. Like when I went to Yarn Day, I've not put them away, so I need to sort that. But I'm going through it slowly, and I feel so much better. I took everything out of the bed, and it's in the other room. It's in So when I come in here, I'm like. So I did go in because I was looking for some things today to bring through. But yeah, so I'm happy that I'm getting through that. So I want to go through my yarn, I want to go through my fabric, and I want to go look at my kits that I've got and sort of put those together. I need to post more photographs on Instagram, and I am very bad at that. So that would be like a positive thing. Another thing that I feel that I want to do, and my knitting just went, like my crafting went, one because I wasn't well, one because of what we were going through in the last like few weeks. But I picked up some baby knitting, and I'm going to show you. But I need to use more of my leftovers. I've got all my sock yarn all together, and I've got my indulge yarn together. So I need to do 2 videos, and I've got those planned. So I'm going to come back and do like a big sock video, and then to show you my socks from last year, and then I'm going to show you my blankets, some that I've made and some that I have that are in progress. And I'm not going to say that I'm on a yarn ban, because that would just be ridiculous. I think, like many of us who start a new hobby, you buy everything. You're like a kid in a sweet shop, aren't you? And then you kind of find your groove, and that's when you start to maybe pass things along, you find what you like, or you progress. So that's what I'm going to do. I want to have a look at my acrylic stash. I have been working on it, and I think I've been quite not keen to have set projects. I want to just sort of feel it, but I don't think that obviously has worked. So yeah, I've worked for a lot from a stash. But I was thinking, to encourage me, I'm going to do points. I'll give myself a point system. Points being prizes. Just bear with me. I know that I've been talking a lot. Let's have a look, because I wrote it down here. Right. I can buy anything I want this year as long as I use it. So that's what I'm going to do. Like, if I see a pattern, I think, oh yes, and I haven't got it, that's going to be my first instance. If I haven't got it in my stash, then I can buy yarn for that project, but I've got to use it. But I'm not getting any points for it if I've bought new yarn. So if I've bought yarn in 2023, I'm going to allow myself 25 points. If I've bought yarn in 2022, I'm allowed 50 points. That is to go towards buying new yarn. And then if I've bought yarn in 2021, I get 75 points. And then anything that's 2020 and prior to that, I can have 100 points. So we will see how I get on with that. So before I show my projects, and I know that I'm wittering, so please bear with me. What did I make last year? Oh, I didn't think I made very much last year, but then when I've sat down and tried to work it out, I think I've done okay actually. I'm not wanting to do loads and loads of goals, but I made 17 socks. I don't think I've showed you all of them, hence the sock video. I made 1, 2, 3, I think I made 4 blankets. One was, I made that big coronation blanket back in the early part of the year. I think that started March till May, and that was a real challenge. So I'll show you that again when I do the blanket one. And I think I did a corner to corner blanket with some yarn that I had left over for Toby, and then I made him a star blanket. And I'm sure I've got a photograph somewhere, and it was beautiful. It was like royal blue and like a limey green. It's really lovely. And then I made Bonnie a little corner to corner blanket, and I did have it out last week, and I feel because she's got a bit bigger, I could do perhaps put a bit more around. So the next time I go down to Modern Yarn in Formby, I will have a look and see if I can buy a couple of balls. I did some accessories because I took part in Christmas in July. So I made Mary, the Christmas bauble, Jesus, I made a fairy and a snowman, and then I made 3 baby hats. I made a shawl. I brought the shawl out to show you. Should show you some things, shouldn't I? But this is something that I'm guilty of. This was a Black Sheep Walls runner Betwixtmas make along. They have a project that you can do, you know, that sort of week between Christmas and New Year. But last year they celebrated 40 years being in business, and that's what I've made. It's finished. Yeah, it's finished, but it's not blocked and the ends aren't woven in. And I have a few projects like that, and I think I need to gather them all, and I think I need to put them in some piles, and then I can show you what I've made. I forgot that I made my granny square jacket from for yarn tear, but I didn't sew my ends in because I got so far with the sleeves, but I wasn't sure what to do. Once I saw the girls, I was like, oh yes. So again, that was finished, but I think I'm going to adapt it a bit more. And then Benjamin's cable jacket. So I think that's all the nattering. I might maybe take some photographs and slice and put the projects in so that you can see them. So bear with me while I just go and get Benjamin's projects. Right, let's get into the knitting. That's what you're here for. Last September, beginning of September, my husband and I, we went away for a little holiday. So I took some of my crafting with me. One of the projects I took was Benjamin's jacket, and it was for the Let's Hear It for the Boys Mail by Needles at the Ready. Very rarely do I ever buy anything abroad, only because I know I'm not going to buy, my purchases are not going to help with the overall ozone layer, but that's what I was looking for. But I'm going to, I'll just try my best. But I really like them, and I really like the fact that you can do something with boys, because we're so heavily inundated with boys. So I picked this up, and again, this was from Stash, and Benjamin had said that he wanted a jacket, so this is what I've made him. So this is a Serdar pattern, commercial pattern. So that was the pattern, and I struggled with this for a bit because I decided to make. He was 4 in September, so I thought, well, if I do 4 to 5, that will do it. And as I didn't measure him before I went, but as I was putting it together, I thought, it's not going to be big enough. It's not going to be big enough. It is big enough, but he wears his t-shirts outside, so his t-shirts are a lot longer. But when he wears this, everything's going to be tucked in, and he looks so gorgeous. So that is the finished cardigan. But as I say, look at that. It wasn't finished for ages because I was just a bit disheartened. I needed to find the right buttons. I struggled for that, so I've gone for the old favourites, the brown leather buttons. Just look at those cables, and it is so soft and squishy. Oh, I've still got a safety pin in. I decided that I'd like the collar sewn down, even though the pattern... Oh, it's not coming out. Wait a minute. Right, I'll have to trim that. It didn't say. I asked Benjamin what he thought. So when he came last week, was it last week or the week before? Must be really a fortnight. He's not had it. So I've turned it, sewn it round. So he really likes it. So it's kind of finished in October, and it's made with most beautiful yarn. It's a Stylecraft. I'm a big Stylecraft fan, and it's so it's 100% acrylic, but it's Batik, and it's in the shade olive, and it's knitted up, I think, really nice. So that'll be quite durable, and it'll be a good hand-me-down. So when he's finished, it'll go to Reuben, and then we'll go to Toby. So he asked me if I'd make him a hat. So I said, of course, darling. I said, Grandma, make you a hat. Wanted it to match his cardigan, so I've just made him a very plain, beanie hat. He's got one that he wears with an enormous pom-pom on, but his mum didn't want him to have a pom-pom because of putting it over his hood. So I knitted it first of all, and I said to him, what do you think? Do you think that'd be better in your coat? So he said yes. So he's got that, and he looks so cute as a button. Cute as a button, he does. And then he wanted a pair of mittens. I was like, okay, we're on a roll here. So I was like, oh my God, what do I do? I kind of just made that from a pattern that I have. And then I found this pattern. Oh my word, it's so, look how dated that pattern is. But it does have a pair of gloves. And one mistake I made is I didn't read the pattern properly. So they're not as long here as they should be. And I will knit him another pair again, but I think the thumbs are just a little bit big. I don't know whether, no, I can't get one for myself. But yeah, so he's quite happy. He's tried those on. Yeah. So he's got a set there. So when he comes on this week on Thursday, I'll be able to give them to him. So I thought, right, okay, just to bump to encourage me to perhaps look at my patterns and books. If I use a commercial pattern or anything that I've bought, then I can get an extra 50 points on the bonus board. So 100, and that'll go towards any yarn that I can buy. So that's our Benjamin, and I've written everything down. I think the mittens were the mittens were 30 grams in weight, and the jacket's it's 211, but I've put the buttons on it, so I'm going to call that 200. Yeah, the mittens were 30 grams and the hat was 40 grams. So then he said to me, oh, Grandma, he says, please, he said, could I have a pair of socks? He said, for Christmas. So he drew around his feet. So these are his little feet. How cute are these? So I need to stick these on a piece of card. And I'll just keep this in his book. For each of the children, I have like a little book that I just keep all their details in, and bits of yarn and things. So that's, and I know that I've got a commercial pattern, so I'll have to see if I've got one that's his size. Right, bear with me a minute while I get the next project. Right, my second project is for my daughter. My eldest daughter, who works at home, and she was saying that her hands were cold, she couldn't get warm. And I said to her, "Oh, would you like me to make you like a pair of mittens?" So she said, "Yes, please." So I've made her a pair. This is out of my stash. This is out of my blanket box stash. So I've made her, look at these. Let me just put the other one on. These are really lovely. They are it's such an easy, gorgeous pattern. These are by Candy Patch Design, and she very kindly made me a pair last year, and I love them in autumn colours. But look at this. Oh my word. How beautiful are they? So this is the pattern, and it's a free pattern, and I knitted these up over a couple of evenings. So excellent for like a quick gift. So that's what they're called. And it's a double knitting pattern. Did I weigh these? Yes, I did. They're 39 grams. 39 grams. They're a great scrap buster as well. Project. And it is Stylecraft special double knitting. Yeah, green gauge, that's what it's called. So I have that much left over. So I'm going to make her a hat. So I bought this. So I'm going to use that first, and then that'll go in the Stylecraft box, whatever's left over. So that was good, wasn't it? Then one of my loves is to knit socks. Really, really beautiful socks. I just find it's just so nice to have like a little project, and I seem to have gone back into West Yorkshire spinners, because you can just knit a vanilla sock and it just does the magic for you. So I've knitted myself a pair of socks, and I had planned to have like a cast on day and everything. These, I didn't get that, but I did pick these up, and in my head at the beginning of January, like the first week, all I could do was just sort of knit. So I knitted these. So this is called Wood Pigeon. Beautiful, really, really beautiful. So I have got two. I don't know where the sock block has gone, hence that's why I've only got one. Obviously had them. Oh, they might be in the sock box. So yeah, so I have those. And the accent is Opal, and it's this grey, which is really beautiful. I don't know what the colour. Oh, there we are. So you can stop the video if you'd like. There we are. I think I've knitted a 2x2 rib. Is it 1x1 rib, and there's 50 rows down to here. I've done a heel, flap and gusset, and then 40 rows between here and the toe, and then I've done a wedge toe, and that's my favourite vanilla method for myself. And then my husband was so good with all what was going on. He was so supportive. Like, there was no moaning, no nothing. He was just there for both my mum and I and my family. I just wanted to make him something, just to say thank you. Like he said to me, you don't have to do that at all. But I've made him a pair of socks. When we got the call that we had to go to the hospital, we had to go straight away. My hands were like this when I got in the car, and I grabbed my knitting bag, and it's really true what they say about your knitting, that it really like calms you and focuses you, and I really needed that at that precise moment, because I was half an hour to get to my mum's when she needed me, and when we went it was through rush hour traffic, and my husband was like trying to drive really fast, and I'm like, just got to slow down, we've got to slow down. People are going to work, they're going to school, so we're just going to have to get there when we can. And I just tried to do some knitting, and slowly I could feel myself. So I was able to compose myself when I finally met my mum, that I could, support her. So yeah, these socks remind me of that time. Where did I just put my sock? I'm a size sort of 5.5, I think, and that's my husband's sock. But we measured him, and I think that was 15 rows again, and then from the edge of this point to here is six inches. Heel flap and gusset, I think that holds his heel really well, and then from the decreases to the toe, it's 6 inches, so they actually mirror. I measured, got him to put the socks on, and I measured them, and then he's got a wedge toe, and he's waiting to wear these, because he had his on. I've listened to other pairs, and he's had them on. He said they're so warm. He goes, when are they going to be ready? And he really liked these. And we were watching All Creatures Great and Small, and the tank tops that they come in like these were the 1940s. That's what that reminds me of. So yeah, lovely. So that's a good one. So they're done. Right. Hey. And then, right, bear with me, I'll get another project. Right, I've just run downstairs because I needed the label for the next project. So I cast on something for myself, and this is my last project of January. Now, please forgive, these are not terribly good photocopies because my printer was running out of ink, but I'm sure most of you will be familiar with these. It's a project from Petite Knits, and she brought this out, was it last year? It's like the Sophie scarf, so it's a really long, thin scarf that you can kind of just sort of wrap around yourself there. Now I was a bit worried because I have sort of this issue here, but she brought out another pattern a little bit later. The quality is not very good, but this is called the Sophie shawl. So loads of people knit it. I thought, yeah, I get cold here. When I wear these long nighties I wear in the evening, or perhaps my pyjamas. So I made my mum the Humblebee shawl a couple of years ago, and I knew that I got some leftovers. And I've got a couple of dresses. One of them is this one, and then there's another one that's very similar. So I've made myself one, but it's a fusion of the two. I kind of looked at the pattern, weighed my yarn, divided it in half, and it's basically the same pattern, but you just increase to make it bigger. So I thought, right, I'll get my yarn together, and I've weighed this, and this is 182 grams. I've got like a smidgen left over, so this is it. Is this the right side? So yeah, so it starts off like this. Yeah, show you. See, it goes down here. So it will just sit on my shoulders, just like that. So when I'm in the house, I don't suffer with like hot flushes and things, but I can get cold. So it's good to have something that I can put on, take off. If I stand up a bit, yeah, you can see it just goes down. Yeah, but I could tuck it all up and everything and put it under a coat. So I'm really pleased. That's another project that I've used out my stash. And the yarn that I used was Blueface Leicester. And the colourway is shade mauve. Let's see, is that printed out better? Yeah. So, and that's just what I needed, just to sort of get me through, you know, what we've been working through. And I say 182 grams. And then my last two projects are what I started. I picked up, yeah, sort of just over after New Year. I'm still feeling a bit, yeah, flat and so I'll just get those. So I've cast on in no particular order. Something fell off then. This is Sirdar, is it the Baby Crofter? I had this in my stash. I think it was a leftover from, I'd intended to make Fred a baby cardigan and then pass it down to Benjamin's box, never got there, and Ruben's, and finally it's come down to Toby's. And I think this is where we were watching James Harriet, and I showed my daughter-in-law and she absolutely loves it. And then this is a Sirdar, beautiful like mauve. So yeah, and I made sort of this round about the same time. Can you see where the colours have come from? So I was determined. I'm really pleased with how that's gone as well. Picked up everything. So I had a bit left over. So I've made him a hat. So he's got a little hat to go with it. We tried that on, a little bit big. I was hoping to wait till Easter and give him like a little part, but yeah, he's really putting on the weight. Why have I? And he's got those little boots. Yeah, those little boots to go with it, and they look really cute. And the patterns I used for the hat, this is like a photocopy of a pattern that we've got. But if you're looking for just a really simple DK knitted little set for a boy, it'll be really difficult. But I've knitted this in all sorts of colours and they look different all the time. So the hat was that I made him. And did I make those booties? Yes, I think I did make those booties. Yeah. And then Kinko, I think, are really good with their patterns, commercial patterns, because you normally get 2 patterns for the price of 1. So there's a little short-sleeved cardigan, no sleeve cardigan. But then if you look on the back, and if you don't like the look of this, it's just looking at the style for you've got something plain, which is this one. And this is 6 to 12 month size. So I took that, it's that pattern, but that's what it looks like. And I just put this on. Yeah, really lovely. So that gave me a lot of pleasure making that, and it didn't take too long. Where shall I put it? So I don't throw everything off. And then, oh, the buttons. That's well off. That'll be my job this afternoon. I haven't sewn the buttons on because I thought I'd lost them, and then I found them. And that's a big thing for me with buttons. So again, it was this pattern, which is a well-loved pattern, and all the boys have had this cardigan in one shape or 2. So again, stash yarn, and this is can't remember off the top of my head. Let me just refer to my notes. Oh, it's Rico Baby So Soft print, and yeah, Rico's, and that was in my stash. So that was that one. I had 2 100-gram balls. So I have pulled the yarn out to get it to match, and I think rather that I've done quite a good job. Really like this one, really like this. Yes, Mum was really pleased when she saw that. So I've put safety pins in for there. I've chosen these buttons, and they are reversible, I think, but I'm going to, I think, put the navy on so you can see them. And then I had a bit left over, so again, another hat, which might even fit him by the time he gets it now. So I just used that up, and it worked out really well. Yeah, it worked out really well. And it's a garter stitch decrease, and then a pair of socks. He's got massive feet, so that's why he's got to have them early. It's for these, really. Yeah, a little pair of booties, so he's got those. So again, that was all out of stash. So I'm really pleased with my projects. That oh, let me just tuck it out of the way, podcasts, I can tell you how many projects that I made in January for somebody that wasn't into their crafting, but I just needed that slow rhythmic motion on my needles. So I made 8 projects. So I made a hat, a pair of mittens, a pair of fingerless mittens, a pair of socks for me, a pair of socks for Mr Jacks, the baby cardigan hat booties for Toby, and the tank top hat and booties, and then I made myself this shawl. And I don't think if I hadn't have been in that frame of mind that I would have had this. And this is lovely, really lovely. So yes, I'm very happy. So at the moment I'm currently working very hard, and I'm looking for it because I thought I brought it up. Oh, it's on the chair over there. I'll go get it. So that soothes me through January. So February month came in. I've casted a pair of socks on, and I will show you those at a later date. They are nearly finished. And then I picked up a whip. So I brought 4 whips. Is that right? Did I bring 4 whips? Oh, 5. So I bought the Geo Gradient shawl from Stephen West over. The Batik Knits Moby slip over. I started that, I think, February, March last year. And the SSP, the Slip Stitch Party by Isabel Kramer. I bought that. That was from 2022. And then I brought the Toft Advent 22. That was the Bird of Peace, and the Toft Advent 2023, the Nutcracker. So I've got 5. I'm fairly happy with that. It is what it is. But I've picked up, the Geo Gradient shawl. So that was by Stephen West. And that was a bit of a bumpy start in the sense of Clue 1 came out and then it had to be reworked. I kind of missed a lot because I was behind, and I have realised that I don't think I like doing a mystery project. I like to do my colour placements and things. I'm happy with my colour placements, but because the Clue 1 had to be redesigned, I started making it, then I chose another design to do, and then ended up doing a third one. But when I've been looking through, I have seen some lovely ones. People have crocheted the square, and I was like, oh wow. And I think Stephen West was really impressed with that fusion of knitting and crocheting coming together. And there was also one that was like a star. There's a lot of like knitted and crocheted like star panels like in blankets at the moment, and I've only just seen that. I thought, oh, I wish I'd seen that, but there's no way I was going to take this apart. So I got it out. I thought, oh, let's just see, maybe I might have to undo it. But definitely my mind was addled with these, like chest infections and things. So where am I? So I was on Clue 2, I picked it up, and I have worked Clue 3, and I'm on Clue 4. Is that, yeah, if I can show you where I am. I've got so many stitches on my needles. So I'm using Bird Street yarn. It's beautiful. I love Bird Street yarns yarn. Can you see this? Just don't want to, yeah. Can you see that? I mean, obviously it's not in all its glory because it's bunched up on a needle, but I'm really, really happy with it. Really happy. I thoroughly enjoyed Clue 3, and I seem to have whizzed through that. Oh my word, all that texture on there. Look at that, is that beautiful? And then Clue 4 is this bit. It's you're going up and doing these. I've never knitted anything like that before, and I've never made anything like that before. Sorry, my face was, really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. And again, I think I'm very much in this colour vibe. So you go up and just try not to give too much away. I mean, most people know that his shawls are very big, and he normally does like a a size that you can stop. If you're out of breath, you're out of brain space, then you can finish it, or you could go on and do the longer one. You like the bigger one. So you have a lot of stitches on. So I think I got up to clue 4. So you're going up to 500 stitches on your needle. I was like, oh my word, what am I going to do? It's going to take me forever. I kind of just want it off. I didn't want to lose the momentum. So even though the patterns tells you, I think you need a couple of stitch markers, but I started, and I do this. I don't know whether I've taken them all out now. Oh, to help me count. Right, so I've got a stitch marker there. From there, I know that's 100 stitches, and then there's another one there, and then I know that that's like another 100 stitches, that's 200, and then another one, so I can count that pretty quick, and that helps me. The knitting's dead easy. I don't feel that there was as much knitting in this as what there has been previously, but I could be wrong. It could be because I've sort of cleansed my palette with all my garter and stocking stitch projects. And then from the sort of 500 kind of stitch count, you have a row where you increase to like 1,000 odd. I was like, oh my word. But it is only one row, and then you decrease back down. So I was like timing my knitting to see, because I thought I want to still keep going. So I've interspersed it with like little projects. I've been working on my socks. I'm just quite monogamous, working on those, and they're alpaca blends, so that's a bit different for me. And then working on this, and then Benjamin's on a roll. He said to me, Grandma, I quite like a scarf. I said, would you, darling? And I actually had a kit that I'd bought. I think I might have even bought it for Alfie or Freddie. And so I showed him, it's one of these kits you can get, and it's, I think, just supposed to be garter stitched. You can put like a cat on it, and it's, so I've been making that. And funny enough, because we've been doing so much travelling backwards and forwards to my mum, it's been the ideal thing to take. Or both her and my husband smoke, I don't. So when they're out having that, I can just pick it up and do a few rows. And that over the course of a week, it's really grown. So I'm at the point now that I've stopped, and I'm waiting for him to come later in the week, and then I can position the cat on there where he wants it, and then I can see whether I need to add to the scarf or just finish it and sew those bits off. So I think that's worked for me, and having something I really need to concentrate on, and then having these couple of little projects I can just put up and put down. So I don't know where to put this now. Oh. Sorry, I should take a photograph of everything that's around me. It was all clear before. And I'm going to show you this. The only reason I'm going to show you this is because I need to have a marker of where I am and know in my mind that I've shown you. This was a very much a impulse cast on. It wasn't on my radar. And I've looked at the project. I still like it. I still want it. What are the 3 things you're supposed to have, but yeah. But that's the pattern, and I had more or less the same colours in my stash. The only thing, I'm making it in DK, and I think it was a heavy fingering it was called. I didn't quite understand what they meant, but I'm going to continue to make it. So I think that's the next thing that I might like pick up. I've already had a look at it. I did make a note of where I left it, but it's so beautiful. And this is the first wedge. I don't think I'm that far off. I think once it gets past there, it'll become a bit more interesting. I'll bring it forward. Stitch detail's lovely, isn't it? So I am going to finish that, but I think I need to book an afternoon where I can sit down and just work out where I am. And I feel a lot more confident after picking up that gradient shawl. And then this one, which I know that I've shown you before, but I still want it. So let's see what the pattern is called. It's called, I was going to say Moby Dick. It's not Moby Dick. It's called the Moby Slipover. And this is what it is. but it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and I would like a slip over. And I've got as far as, what's my swatch? Right, splitting for sleeves. I love a cable, absolutely love a cable. So there we are. So I'm quite capable of knitting it. Oh, look at it. Look at it. I might change my mind, this might be the next one that I pick up. Yeah. And that is knitted in, it's knitted in Sublime Extra Fine Merino Wool DK. And it's a very, that's the shade and lot number. Oh yeah, can you see that? I think it has been discontinued, but I think you get like an equivalent. Or use what recommended yarn is in the pattern. But again, a stash off the project. So I think they're my 3 garments. I'm not going to get my Toft Advent out, and I think I have made a decision about my Advents. I think, well, this is the next project I'm definitely going to do, because this is my Toft. Ta-da! My Toft 2023, and the 2022 was the bird, the beautiful bird of peace. Jeanette has made hers, and it's absolutely stunning. I think with Toft, when doing Vlogmas, I get very... I put the pressure on myself. Nobody else puts pressure on, but I'm going to sit down and do this because I think I stopped at day 19 and I've got a couple of bits to do. So I have, what do I have? Oh, that's what I know why, exactly why I run out, and I think some people did. I think it was due to our tension being off, was the violet. So this is the Nutcracker. That's where it is. I managed to do everything, see? And so we'd started doing some embroidery here, and I needed some of this violet, but I didn't. That's all I've got left. And I only need it for this. So I remembered, lucky enough, that I had bought, yep, violet. I bought Beatrix Potter. So now that I've dug that out of the box, I can get started. And then I think it's chains on his hat. So I've done that as well. So that's where I'm up to. And then this is the fairy, the Nutcracker fairy. Oh, do you know what? I put her in there and I wasn't very, not cross with her, but I was a bit like, yeah, I'm not sure if I like a tutu skirt, but now I've got it out. I think because I'd be used to sewing that. But I am going to hopefully meet up with Jeanette and I'll ask her if she can bring me hers so that I can have a look. Because when you're knitting, I don't belong to a group, but if you're all making the same project, you could have a look at somebody's, couldn't you? And you could like get a gauge of where you are, where you're up to. And then, oh, and this is the cutest little thing. It's going to be when it's put together. This is the mouse, look. He isn't, so he's got his body, it's not his body, his legs have got to go on. I managed to do his little tail, look. And his cape. Yep, so put all the beads on. That will go round him. Let me just see if I can I get that on? There we are, look. Oh, look at him. Yeah, and then that'll go on and he will be done. So I think, yes, I think I'm going to finish this first, because one of the reasons I'm going to do it, now that I found that yarn, is I'm not crocheting anything because I think I need to finish that. So that's where I'm going to be. So let's have a look. So I think that was everything that I wanted to chat to you about today. I bet you're like, wow, I'm glad that's over. But sometimes I think you just need to get it out of your system. I think so. Yes. So I don't think I did too bad actually for my January roundup and my plans. I know it's gone over the hour and I'm really sorry. So our life at the moment is new timetable, well, not new timetable, but kind of new rhythm for us as our family. We were just, funny enough, we were having a conversation today about Mother's Day. I was taking my mum out, I didn't realise how complicated it was to sort things out after somebody has passed away. The funeral directors were amazing. I've never had to I helped organise a funeral, and it was brilliant. It was, in the way, if you can say that about something, everybody had jobs. We divided everything up, like took it off my mum's shoulders. She had the control and final say over everything, but there were certain things that we could say, right, such and such can do. And even down to my son-in-law going and picking the sandwiches up from Costco the night before, like finishing work early, go and getting them, because it didn't open till 11, and I think the funeral was at 11 o'clock. So he was able to do that for my mum. So lots of things. We managed to take my mum out a couple of times. We've been laughing because she's been going down to the pub. It's not something she did, but just so that we can go and have a meal and just get her out of the house, and that's worked really well. We've also taken her to Sainsbury's. We just have this saga at the moment that she's lost so much weight, bless her, and she just hasn't been out. She needs some new clothes, so it's new jumpers. So we took her around and said, what size are you, Mum? She told me. I got sort of laughing. So Mum said, you're not that size. I think she's not realised either how much weight she's lost. When we had some photographs put up for the funeral, they do like you can have like these photographs put up in the service of your favourite photographs, and we could see one that was taken in 2019, how she is now, and I think she could see like the difference. So I bought the jumpers, and then we've gone home. They're too big, so then we've taken them back, and they're too big, so we've gone back, and I think they're just right now. So she's got that. But things for like my husband and I, we're putting a folder together and we're writing down everything, where everything is. Like the will and the insurance and pensions and all that kind of thing. So if one of us goes first, everyone knows what to do, and then if we both go, then our children know what to do. And we're also talking to our children about it, and they're a bit like, because my mum did try to talk to me a few years ago, and I was like, I'm not ready. But I have said to her since, when you're ready, I am happy for you to tell me what you want, and I'll make sure that's all done. Just part of life, funny part of life you just don't talk about. So yes, it's good in the sense that I've got my mum back, and we can go and visit her. Obviously be careful, but we're talking about having her come here and to visit. So maybe Mother's Day we might do something. It depends how she feels. So I will be back, and I will be back soon. It might not be for another week or 10 days, but I'll get those 2 podcasts up about the socks and blankets, and then I can do a roundup for February, and then hopefully I'll be back on an even keel, and all this stupid stuff will be sorted out. So what have we got to? Well, we've got to look forward to. I've got a lot to look forward to. I don't have to have something to look forward to. It's Valentine's Day tomorrow. I don't need to have a day for my husband to tell me that he loves me, or for me to tell him. But he's got me a card, evidently. I was like, oh my word. I've ordered him something that's coming, or it's arrived. So I've got that for him for tomorrow, and we're going out for dinner. Only very tongue-in-cheek. Last time we went out for dinner was in October for our anniversary, and both of us felt really rough. But we went because it was our anniversary, and we'd booked the table a week before. So we tried to book a table for tomorrow night, and he said to me, "Oh, this is like a fancy restaurant." He said, they've only got 1 table left. I said, oh, okay. So what time? He said, 9:30. I was thinking to myself, do you know what? I said, it's a bit too late for me to go out. I said, for dinner at 9:30 at night. I said, I'd rather go out, have my dinner, come back, get my pyjamas, and be on the sofa for 8 o'clock. So he was laughing because he was thinking like the same kind of thing. So he goes, should we go somewhere else? So we're going to a sushi restaurant tomorrow, which is where we went in October, because we didn't thoroughly enjoy it because we didn't feel well. We're going going tomorrow, so that'd be okay. But I think the table's booked at 5:30. So I probably will be home and in my pyjamas for them, but doesn't matter, does it? Doesn't matter. Right, my lovies, I think I'm going to go now. I think I've waffled on way too much, but I hope you'll forgive me, and I look forward to seeing you again, and take care, and let me know what you're working on, what your plans are. Are you you going in a new direction? I'm a work in progress, me. I'll never be finished, but take care, and look forward to sharing your company again soon.